Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. It is your guy Boulanger. Up next on the GM Super Bowl reaction. Do me a quick favor, hit like. If it is your first time checking out the GM, hit subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so that you get updates when we upload new content. Let's talk about it. Well, the 2023-24 season is now in the books, and it ends just like it began, with the Kansas City Chiefs being the champs. So, man, let me stop right here and give a shout out to Kansas City, Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, Chris Jones, Pacheco, L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, and all the other Chiefs, man, who stepped up over the course of this playoff run and got the win. Shout out to the Chiefs. And what I'll say, man, at this point is that this is Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs era. Now, I don't know what that means for the rest of the league, but what I do understand is that this is kind of similar to the Tom Brady and the Patriots 20-year run over the league. Maybe they didn't win it every single year, but they were always in the conversation. And in order to be the man, you had to beat that man. And now Patrick Mahomes is that man. In this game, we saw a little bit of everything. And to be honest, I did predict that the 49ers would win this game 29-24, something like that. And my basis was that the 49ers had everything on their team to get this win home for them. They have pass rushing, they had good linebacking play, they had a couple of pieces in the secondary, they had Pro Bowler at left tackle, Pro Bowler at running back, Pro Bowler in a receiver, Pro Bowler at tight end. And in the end of it all, none of that mattered, right? Simply because I think that the 49ers, like most teams in big games, they had some self inflicted wounds that you can't afford to have against this team. Any other team, any other guy, you could overcome that. And they almost did. And those self-inflicted wounds, I believe, were the deciding factors in this game. I know that Patrick Mahomes and this offense went down with a little under 2 minutes and scored in overtime. But I think that we don't get to overtime if the 49ers capitalize versus uh, self-inflict. They came out with a game plan. They were executing. Looked like they had a plan to get the ball to McCaffrey in the passing game and the run game. They did just that, but right on schedule. Christian McCaffrey coughs the ball up. Only the fourth time in over 400 touches this year. What a time to have a turnover. He takes a minimum of 3 points off the board. Nevertheless, the 49ers still maintained a 10-point lead, a 10-0 lead. Defense was playing well. They were doing exactly what they needed to do on the defensive side of the ball. They were getting after Patrick Mahomes with their front four, and they were actually getting after him pretty well, and keeping him in the pocket when he would go to scramble. And they were doing their very best to kind of manage Mahomes and this offense. And then you have the unforeseen play where the rookie special teamers for the 49ers, wrong place, wrong time, ball touches him, turns the ball over, I think, inside of their 20, and gave up some points. So when you look at the Christian McCaffrey taking away a minimum of 3 points, and then they turn the ball over and give up a minimum of 3 points, you're looking at a 6 point swing basically. And so, bad play, right? You look at how the 49ers in the middle of the game, they gave up on the run. I remember in the telecast, I remember thinking to myself when this game was happening, why did they give up on the run? Right? And run game, even if it's not super effective, has another factor, and that's the clock. I remember the telecast was saying that they had ran the ball in two possessions. They had ran the ball 0 times, which means they had six passes that were ineffective. Which, when you have ineffective passes, the ball is being missed, but thrown out of bounds, whatever the situation may have been, dropped. You're stopping the clock. So if you run the ball, even if it's 3 times for 2 yards a piece, and you have to punt, you're still burning time off that clock. which then impacts the later part of the game. But they gave up on the run and in the middle of the game, and they got back to it later on in the game. And then you had another miscue, right? They score and they missed the extra point kick. Another self-inflicted wound. It's the easiest kick to make, but they don't get it. If they get that 1 point, here we go again, not having to go into overtime. So I'm not indicating that the 40 excuse me that the Chiefs did not win this game, right? Because the ball still was in Patrick Mahomes' hand. He still went right down the field. He still made the plays he needed to make. He was um, 100% completion on that overtime drive, and that he's ran the ball for about 20 yards right up the middle, and they they clutched it out, right? Great play call. Miko Hardman grabs the ball, touchdown, game's over. And one of the strangest things, man, that we saw in this game, it's not funny, man, because I think Greenlaw could have made a difference in this game, but he basically tears his Achilles running onto the field. I mean, what a way to go out, right? What a way to go out in the big game is to hurt your Achilles going onto the field, man. So, uh, shout out, man, to the Chiefs for going to get this win, man. And so we close the book, and a dynasty is born. We close the book on 2023-24, and a dynasty is born. And I think at this point, um, specifically in the AFC, but in the whole league, we don't need to have any more best quarterback conversations. Okay. If we're to have that best quarterback conversation, it does not need to include Patrick Mahomes because he's in the greatest of all time category at this point. He's going to, creep up there with Brady, Montana, those kind of guys. He can no longer be talked about in average conversation, right? He can no longer be talked about with Burrow and Allen and Jackson. He can't be talked about in that conversation anymore because to be a three-time champion with three Super Bowl MVPs, two regular season MVPs, you can't even talk about him in regular conversation at this point. So let's kill that. Let's kill that argument. And I think these other three quarterbacks, including our guy Lamar Jackson, I think that they're going to have to settle for stealing a Super Bowl every now and then, as this is the Patrick Mahomes era. You have to hope to be like Eli Manning and the Giants when they stole two during Brady's time. You have to hope to be like Peyton Manning, who stole two. And when I say steal, I'm just talking about they got in where they fit in and got a couple. That's all I'm meaning. Russell Wilson got him one. Carson Wentz slash Nick Foles got them one. And I say Carson Wentz slash Nick Foles because we know Carson Wentz was on his way to winning the MVP before he hurt his knee. And so a couple of dudes got some, and then when Patrick Mahomes started winning, he just kept winning, and so this is the era that we're in. And so we're going to begin our all season conversations here at the GM, man. We got a lot of good content coming up, man. This is basically our second um, draft um, conversation period. This is also our second free agency. What we do this off season will look way different than what we did here at the gym last off season. um, I got a series of conversations coming up about getting real, about the Ravens, uh, some topical things. Want you guys to be encouraged to engage in that. I'm gonna say some things that you guys won't like, but you guys know by now what you get here. You're gonna get my honest take, my honest thoughts. I don't do hot takes. What I say, I believe. Um, and so so I'm looking forward to those discussions. And also, as we close out, I'm looking to do some type of collective where you guys join me, maybe three or four of you guys join me in a live conversation. We won't do it on like a YouTube live. We may jump into Zoom, have that live conversation, get it recorded, and then we'll upload it for the rest of the GM family to take a look at it and invest in what we do. So I'm looking for a couple of you guys, man, who wanted to have an open conversation, live conversation, man, with the GM, and looking to have a little fun with that, man. So if you're interested, man, by all means, drop that into the comment section. Also, let me know what you guys thought about the Super Bowl. Also, let me know if this is truly the Patrick Mahomes era. This is Patrick Mahomes' league, and everybody else has to get in where they fit in. Is that your perspective as well? So listen, I'm your guy Boulanger. This is the GM, and we're out.